matter how they wanted to mock and ridicule Michael Jackson, black people stood and said, look, that's our man. It makes no difference whether he bleached his skin. It makes no difference at the end of the day that Tiger Woods or a black brother has overlooked a black woman and chosen a Caucasian. At the end of the day, they belong to us. And so we are swallowing the false and negative propaganda that comes out from the media. But with Jesus, they wanted him dead. What did Jesus do to earn their wrath? At the root of their deep hatred for the man was that this man came to end their world. Listen good, I'm going to say it again. At the root of their hatred was that that man represented the end of their time to rule. Jesus did not come into the world to offer peace to the peace breakers, to the troublemakers who broke peace. He came to end the world of the wicked, so in effect, he declared war against their world. This is serious business. See, we have a misconception of Jesus. We think Jesus loves everybody, don't we? He loved everybody. He loved the angels and the devils together. Really? Well, then why did Jesus say these words, quote, "Think not, do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth." You don't hear pastors teach this. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to turn a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a man's enemies will be his own house, of his own household. Boy, that's deep. That means if you're not about obedience and submission to God, when he comes into the world, two will be lying in the bed together. One will be left, one will be taken, because he is the discrimination. And once truth comes, a decision has to be made, and it's going to break up the house, break up the marriages, break up the family, because the righteous cannot walk with the unrighteous. The believer can no longer be wedded with the unbeliever. Y'all all right? So Jesus of 2,000 years ago prefigured the one who would actually do this kind of work. The Messianic Christ figure. He makes war. I'm going to say it again. He makes war with the rulers of this world, the principalities and the spiritual wickedness in high places. So in the book of Revelations, when you read about a beast who's in power, and the question is raised, who is able to make war with the beast? There was no one, and there is no one, and no nation that can effectively wage war and win against the United States of America. Gotta tell it the way it is. This is the modern Babylon. This is the modern Egypt. This is the modern Rome. And the only superpower left in the world. Look at this now. Why does the gospel tell us the chief priests, the high priests, teachers of the law were all against Jesus? Jesus is dealing with that 10% ruling class that control, abuse, mistreat, subjugate, and oppress 85% of the population of our planet. This is serious business. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us about this 10% ruling class of men that are called the bloodsuckers of the poor. The elite that devise financial exotic schemes to take our properties, create debt, to make slaves of the people and subdue sovereign nations through debt creation. This 10% elite class of men, the international bankers who create regional, local conflicts and wars between nations that cause the shedding of blood through mischief making, telling lies, and the spreading of false rumors, pitting one against the other. So Paul talked about the man of sin being revealed and the great falling away that would mark the time of God's presence in the world. Jesus said, "Woe to the world because of the things that cause people to sin. Such things," he said, "must come, but woe to the man through whom they come." And then Jesus says, "And suffer not the little ones. And whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him to have a large millstone hung around his neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea." What is being introduced to our children today? What are they being exposed to? Who's doing it? Who's influencing their behavior? What scheme and plan has been devised by the wickedly wise that's creating this kind of conflict and violence on our streets all across the country? Who is profiting from this? Prisons are being built, but no jobs are being made in the inner cities. They have their investments in this new prison industrial complex, and they have to fill the cells. So they have to create circumstances and conditions on the streets that they can trap those who have lost the desire to be educated or have fallen into deep despair, that they find no other alternative but what is exposed and offered to them, which is a life of crime. This is serious. How could we be in love, brothers and sisters, with this kind of world? The world of Satan is a world of death. The Bible says in the book of James, love of this world is enmity with God. I like what Sister Ava said last week. in her beautiful, beautiful message. The season for separation. We got to take an up or down vote. We have got to separate for ourselves. And every leader that advocated separation, economic self-sufficiency, was a target of the U.S. government. Now, the mass population of whites, they don't have no problem. Y'all spear chuckers want to go back to Africa? Go. Excuse me. They say other things, which I dare not dignify. But they don't mind us packing up and getting out. But those in power, they're not going to let you go. See, Isaiah calls us a lawful captive. If you're in Satan's world, Satan knows that you are the prize and the value of God, so he can't let you go. It's like being held hostage and held for ransom. You didn't know you were that special, did you? That Satan would hold you like that. Well, I'm here to tell you, you are that special and that valuable in the eyes of God. And Satan does not want to let you go. Pharaoh was not going to let the children of Israel go. It took 10 plagues, and finally he relented and said, all right, go. Get out of here, make it quick. And then he had a change of heart. And he went after the children of Israel, and God destroyed his army and drowned them in the sea. You are so valuable and so precious in the eyes of God. Now, I want to take you to the Bible and show you some of what Jesus said that angered the Jewish authorities. And you have to understand that, see, the Jewish authorities, they were responsible for devising the plan to have Jesus dead. Rome and the Roman authorities, they ultimately executed Jesus, but only at the urging of Jewish authorities. Now, I know that you all would, those Jews may call this, anti-Semitic. But let us look at your history. And let history judge your innocence or your guilt. Because your history and record is written, and it is an indictment against you. They are so wicked, wickedly wise, and good at what they do to keep people from discovering their satanic self. Listen good. See, the Bible tells us that the devil can take on many garments. He wears the garments of the righteous. He can appear as an angel of light, a son of God, a Muslim, a Christian, a Jew. Satan does not have a religion.